Greetings, friends! Recently I had the opportunity to get really up close to the work of bees, and I ended up with a lot of footage and a lot of knowledge too, and I thought I would share that honeypot with you. My friend Todd has several hives, and today he is planning to get a new one started from a swarm he recently received. The first thing he has to do, though, is prepare a new box. And here's what the box looks like with nothing really in it. First, we have to prepare some frames. So he took some empty frames and started to wax them. And covering them with that wax means the bees are going to move into that place because it's ready and set up for their needs. Here's a good view of the build-out of the hive as he puts each part together. You can see the new swarm or brood in that cardboard box over there. That's just temporary. The new box will be their permanent home. Right now, he's putting some smoke in to dull the bees' senses, to get them a little sleepy and to move away so that they're not getting angry and thinking that an attack is about to happen. You really want to keep the whole entire brood together. Here are all the frames in the box ready to be moved. On each frame, we are looking for the distribution of egg laying and the health of the queen. Egg laying is a key factor in that. This frame is pretty inactive. There's not much happening here, but it is on the end. This next frame is pretty busy, but still pretty inactive as far as eggs go. Wow, this next frame has some eggs, and you may not be able to see it too well in the video, but they look like tiny pieces of rice at the bottom of the cells. On this next frame, you can actually see the queen, and she is busy, busy, busy. Watch her as she crawls around checking cells to see if they're vacant and usable. Now the frames are being arranged in the new box. The busier ones are being put towards the center with the queen, and the empty ones and some of the new ones are being put on the outside. Don't worry about all the bees that are still in the box and flying around. The brood will follow the queen. At this point, I'm feeling an intense amount of air from the wings of all these bees. You can actually feel the air being stirred. And actually, that's something that they're doing on purpose. You may notice they're heading down into the box, and they're coming out onto what could be called the patio to start fanning. And doing this little dance helps let the rest of the brood know where the queen is. Oh no! Todd got stung. A bee sting is always used as a last resort of self-defense to protect the hive. It results in the death of a bee, and you can see it here as the bee flew off after stinging. The stinger and all of the internal organs of the bee are pulled out, and here you can see it pulsing and dumping in the venom. Something else is happening here as well. A pheromone is being released, and the bees can smell that chemical. It's like an alarm scent, and it alerts bees to an attacker. Todd says it happens to smell a lot like bananas. Here's some more of that fanning that the bees are doing. Todd mentioned another use for fanning as well. On extremely hot days, something might happen called bearding, when a whole bunch of bees get together on the outside front of the bee box and start fanning all together to cool down the hive. Now we're looking down into another hive, and this one is very well established, and you can see that the bees are all coming up and looking at us, sort of smiling, checking out what's going on and assessing the situation. As I said, this is a very active hive. You can see bees crawling around, poking their heads into cells, drinking and feeding. And here's another queen who is very, very busy exploring and laying eggs. And you can see, maybe not the eggs so well, but you can see the larva curled up in all the different chambers. You can even see some capped chambers as well, and a whole variety of sizes of the larva. But those capped chambers are actually where the larvae have entered their pupa state, and they are metamorphosing to an adult. They should be out in just a couple of days, another member of the hive. Here are a couple of bees that have just woken up from metamorphosis and are chewing their way out through the wax. Now, we weren't able to really see the pupa stage. It's a bit hard to get in there, but I've included a link to a video so you can take a look at a time lapse and see what the transformation is like. Wow, I sure was busy looking at all these bees. I'm very grateful for my friend Todd's help. He seems to know a lot about them too. Maybe you'd like to know a little bit more. There's some great, sweet stuff in this video, but there's a lot of stuff that's not in here as well. Feel free to go and explore things like the life cycle of bees, all of the things bees do as they go out and grab pollen and bring it back in and create a variety of materials inside their hive. They're really crafty critters, and you should get to know them a little bit better too. They'll keep you pretty busy, and the rewards are sweet. Until next time, my friends, be busy.